Thank you for joining us on the weekend edition of National Focus. I'm Mervin. Coming up, 16 days of activism to focus on peace and education. A modern processing facility for the production of toloma and farine officially opened in Delices, and the 2016 independence celebrations described as a success. Stay with us for details of these and other stories after this.
Child abuse is unacceptable. Child abuse is not cultural, it is criminal. And one child abuse is one too many.
For more information on child abuse or to report suspected cases on child abuse, contact the Social Welfare Division on 33 Great Marlborough Street or call 266-3020 or 266-3080.
One group of women in the south of the island has heeded the government's appeal to farmers to diversify. Further to diversifying, this group has also responded to the call of agro-processing. The Delices Toloma Women in Action Group has officially opened a modern processing facility for the production of toloma and farine. The official opening ceremony took place on Thursday, November 10. Kimani Seja was there and filed this report.
Life has just been made much more easier for the 30 members of the Delices Women in Toloma Action Group. Today we are here in Delices for the official opening of the toloma processing facility. The Honorable Parliamentary Representative for the Lapland constituency, Peter Seja, calls the occasion a classic example of people working together.
This is a classic example of what can happen when people work together. When we pool our resources as community and we work for the good of each other. Very often when there were sermon meetings, just a handful of them would show up. But through it all, they were able to hold together. And today, here we are, reaping the benefits of a cooperative spirit.
Indeed, it has not always been easy for this group of 29 women and 1 man. After the decline of the banana industry in the early 2000s, the need for diversifying into other crops prompted this farming community to move into the production of toloma and cassava. In 2007, the Delices Toloma Women in Action Group was formed under the leadership of Alberta Sorrento, who still serves as president today.
The purpose of the group was to assist women with a project that will assist women of the community. In December 2008, Mr. Joseph Isaac and Ms. Solly Barry from the Business Gateway, headed by Dexia, had a 30-month program targeting towards startup groups, and we were fortunate to be part of this program. At the end of the program, we received pouches, labels, and a sealer for packaging our product, and we were left on our own.
She explained that it took 7 years of training workshops and seminars to prepare the group for its current level of success. Consequently, the group needed land to construct a processing plant, and the government of Dominica stepped in and leased land to the group. Eventually, Sorrento was told about the Global Environment Fund, or GEF Small Grants Program. It is through this program the group was able to realize this project.
With the help of GEF, we have benefited tremendously. This is why we are today reaping the benefits.
Since its inception in 2005, GEF Small Grants Program, through its National Steering Committee, has funded over 100 small projects in Dominica.
Your Toloma project is one that clearly demonstrates GEF Small Grants Program commitment, and support. Because of the increase in toloma production, there was a need for moving away from the traditional methods of processing, which was labor-intensive and time-consuming, but had severe implications on hygienic conditions and quality. In that regard, the toloma women applied to GIS small grants for the processing facility. We approved $46,000, about 122,820 EC, and that was approved in April.
The group was also successful in a second application to GIS Small Grants Program and received $30,000 for equipment for grinding, drying, and packaging the product. Deputy Resident Representative of United Nations Development Program, Sub-Regional Office for Barbados and the OECS, Chaisa Mikami, also witnessed the occasion.
This is a program that reaches local communities and show direct physical results, but also bring about the growth in capacity of local people and empower them to participate in co-management of the resources as they are able to use those resources in a sustainable manner.
Following the official opening and blessing of the facility, we witnessed a small demonstration of the operation. Sorrento explains what happens after the grinding process.
We have to place 2 barrels of toloma with water, with a thin cloth over each barrel. Then we wash the toloma, what that is being grind upon one, and then we rinse it in another and let it settle. After it is settled, we throw away the water and we continue giving it water until it is white. And this water we will be giving it. It will not contaminate anywhere. Before we had this machine, we had other members of the villages that used to have other machines similar to that. But ours is different and more modernized. Before, we used to lift up the load and pour it in the mill, and the gentleman would have a stick, but now we will have no stick to press it down.
Then it is dried here.
After drying it, we will weigh it inside here, package it and label it, and then it will be ready for the market.
With a growing demand on the market for the commodity, there is much money to be made from this business. Toloma now fetches $10 a pound on the market. The product is already on the regional market, and Sorrento says her new dream is to go international. The Honorable MP encouraged farmers and other tradesmen and women in the constituency to use the Delices Toloma Women in Action group as a model to pursue their dreams. Kimani Seja reporting from Delices for GIS News.
Our thanks to Kimani for that report. In more news, the Bureau of Gender Affairs is set to host another annual 16 Days of Activism against gender-based violence from November 25 to December 10. This international movement was initiated by the United Nations Women Organization and coordinated by the Center for Women's Global Leadership in 1991. Activities are being held under the theme "From Peace in the Home to Peace in the World, Make Education Safe for All." On Friday, November 25, activities will kick off with Orange Day. Dominicans are encouraged to wear orange in observance of the beginning of the 16 Days of Activism. GIS News spoke with Communications Officer of the Bureau of Gender Affairs, Arlene Gregoire, who gave insight into some of the activities planned.
What we do have going on, one of the first things that we have is actually a Women in Leadership and Diversity seminar, where we've invited young girls, from the age of 15 through 20 to a one-day comprehensive seminar teaching them about leadership, gender issues, and the relation to it within their own respective communities that they serve. So we've engaged young women from the different schools, different backgrounds in terms of maybe the Kalinago territory, maybe the disabled persons, what we call minority groups as well, who also need leadership activities.
The communications officer revealed that a men's symposium will also be hosted in collaboration with VF Inc.
Well, this year we've partnered with VF Inc. in the men's symposium. So we're giving men a chance. So men, you still have a chance to go out there and actually, register and participate in the symposium. It's something that we think our men should come on, they should come on board and see, how is it they can encourage each other to be better for their families, for their sons, for their daughters, and for a better country.
She was excited about the clothesline project, which was a huge hit last year.
We encourage people to come to the Bureau of Gender Affairs. We have shirts and we're going to have the paint very soon. And, they come in and they paint their message. Last year we had an overwhelming response to the clothesline project, and this year that we're hoping to do it again. I think people remember last year we hung all those t-shirts up on the bridge and they were able to, pass by, see what the people were saying, as well as a silent protest.
Another major activity that will take place is a gender self-exploration tour on November 29.
One of the things that we're trying to do at the Bureau especially is engage the youth, and we're taking the self-exploration tour to the Dominica State College. That's going to be our first place that we're doing it. And so what they're going to get to do is actually engage with us, talk to us. We're going to be there with our counselor and everything. If anybody needs to talk, that's fine. But we're also going to have booths set up where they can come in, they can write write notes about a woman that they they aspire to be, or a woman who has inspired them. They can come in and they can actually be part of the clothesline project that we're going to bring up there as well. We're going to have video testimonials, so they get to come in and sit in a little booth and tell us something about a woman who's encouraged them, who's inspired them, or a woman that they think should be recognized.
Gregor stated that the Bureau also wanted to ensure that the church was also involved in this initiative of peace in the home and in the world. Other activities include a community meeting in Vekas, World AIDS Day activities on December 1st, and Street Talk in Granby on December 2nd. The chairman of the Independence Committee, Raymond Lawrence, has described the 2016 Independence celebrations as a success. This year's celebrations was celebrated from September 17 to November 4 under the theme Strengthening Our Commitment to Nation Building. Lawrence, in an interview with GIS News, stated that coming out of the 2015 disaster, the Independence Committee had to revisit the activities planned last year to organize a new list for this year.
The standards and the quality of performances from the various artists, cultural groups, the staging of their presentations and the participation by cultural groups and individuals and also by the public, we thought was very impressive. So we're happy, we're encouraged by the fact that we thought we had a successful celebration, and of course we thank God for that as well.
The committee chairman reported on the lessons learned which will prepare them for upcoming independence events.
We have to try maybe to advertise some of the events a little more, because there are so many activities during the independence celebrations that in a sense some of them get lost if you do not advertise all of them. So we realize we have to make an effort to maybe improve on the advertising of certain events so that you can get a larger public participation. Also, we have to try to discuss with the various organizers some training where necessary, for cultural groups and individuals, anything to enhance the quality and standards of performances.
The chairman revealed that an independence reunion may be on the cards for the 40th anniversary. You're watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. A local cultural icon believes that the education of nationals on the island's culture is critical. Former Chief Cultural Officer and Chairman of the Independence Committee, Raymond Lawrence, spoke with GIS News about the relevance of teaching Dominicans about their culture.
If you go to study in China, they ask you about Dominica, you should be able to say something about your history, about your culture. So it just goes to show that every Dominican, not just the performers on stage, not just somebody interested in arts and culture, every single Dominican should know about their history. They should know about their emblems. They should know about the culture of the country, so that whichever part of the world that they travel to, they would be able to speak, you know, comfortably about the country and help to promote Dominica overseas.
He believes that Dominica is the only island in the Caribbean with such a large independence calendar.
And there was a time, I think we were the only ones having those sort of cultural competitions across the island. And while I was Chief Cultural Officer, I know we had delegations come down from some of the islands just to observe how we organized and planned the independence celebrations. Also, as far as I know, I think we have the largest independence celebration and maybe biggest in the region, maybe the world, because most countries just celebrate, they just have an Independence Day, and that's it. But we have like, what, 6 weeks of activity.
Lawrence gave his impression of the first observance of Emblems Week.
We would have wanted to see more public participation. Again, that's where maybe the media houses come in. And maybe we have to, again, try to work with the media to try to have more features, whether it's television or radio, they can have more features. And in that way, they too are playing a critical role in helping to promote History Week and Emblems Week and activities like that. And then we find the schools now playing a very important role, because they ask the students to do research projects. They bring in lecturers and visiting teachers and so to the schools to have special lectures and talks to the children on the subject. And for Emblems Week, for instance, they would highlight a particular emblem every day and get the children to do research and find out more about the meaning and the significance of the various emblems.
He asserted that Emblems Week and History Week is not only about culture, but also education.
You can do research, you can learn more about your country, your emblems. We have lectures, you know. You have History Week where students can do research, and so you have, and even something like Heritage Day where you visit a particular community and you learn about that community and the history of the community. All of those things are educational and an important part of our celebrations, so that we are building not just one particular area, but we're building a number of intellectual, educational, artistic, cultural aspects of life in Dominica.
Welcome to this week's edition of Flashback. In the headlines this week, a decade-long friendly alliance between Dominica and the People's Republic of China continues to reap benefits as Dominica's international partners consistently demonstrate their intentions into actions. It is very apparent that installation of over 2,500 lights around the island is well on its way. The Honorable Leader of the Nation, Prime Minister Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, at the National Day Parade expressed his profound gratitude to the People's Republic of China for their continued support. The 160-room Cabrits Resort Kempinski, being constructed in the north of the island, which has promised jobs for hundreds of Dominicans upon completion, has opened the doors for several young people in the hospitality and tourism industry to receive training. The Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit revealed that 25 young individuals will gain the opportunity to receive first-class training to prepare them to manage the Cabrits Resort Kempinski when it is completed in 2018. Also this week, the Honorable Minister for Tourism, Senator Robert Tong, Welcome to Dominica, the first new cruise ship for the 2016-2017 cruise season. Honorable Tong, Chief Executive Officer at Dominica Air and Seaports Authority, Benoit Badwil, and Product Promotions Manager at Discover Dominica, Kathleen John-Jules, officially welcomed the crew and captain of the main ship 4 of the 2 cruises to Dominica as it made its inaugural call at the Roseau cruise ship berth. To mark the inaugural call, a ceremonial plaque exchange was held aboard the ship. The minister pledged the commitment of the government in ensuring the time spent here by passengers is a pleasurable and memorable experience. The President, His Excellency Charles Savre, last week welcomed the new High Commissioner of Canada to the Commonwealth of Dominica, a symbol of strengthened relations between the 2 countries. For the past 38 years, Canada has provided economic and technical support towards the growth and development of Dominica and has pledged to provide further support. The President received the letter of credence issued by the Governor-General and Commander-in-Chief of Canada, His Excellency the Right Honorable David Johnston, accrediting the new High Commissioner-designate of Canada to Dominica, Her Excellency Marie Lago. Also this week, the final draft of the National Physical Development Plan has been completed. The first draft of the plan, which is to govern the appropriate use of land in Dominica for the next 20 years, was presented on April 26 to stakeholders and members of the press. The project was conceptualized in 2010 and approved for funding by the Caribbean Development Bank in 2013. Now, 4 years later, according to Chief Physical Planner Kevin Roll, the final draft has been completed. The Agricultural, Industrial and Development Bank will, for the month of November into December, celebrate its 45th anniversary by giving back to the community and its customers. The aid bank was incorporated on July 8, 1971 by an Act of Parliament and began operations in November of that year. Since its inception, the aid bank has held the objective to promote and influence economic development and to mobilize funds for the purpose of such development. These were some of the headline stories making the news this week. For details of each of these stories and others, visit our website or Facebook page. Back to you, Mervin.
And that's news. Before we leave, here's one announcement. The Ministry of Public Works and Ports wishes to advise the public of the closure of the road in the vicinity of the primary school in Bells with immediate effect. Local access will be permitted only as far as the school. Therefore, all traffic intending to go beyond Bells, especially traffic going to or from the Douglas Charles Airport, should access through the Portsmouth to Marigot Road or the Port Cassé to Casbruce and through the Kalinago Territory Road. Safety and direction signs, signals and barriers will be erected for the safety of the public. Please refrain from defacing, destroying, removing or tampering with those signs. Please be guided accordingly. The Ministry of Public Works and Ports apologizes for any inconvenience caused. Coming up next, your tip of the day.
Protection from abuse is every child's right. Everyone has a shared responsibility in protecting the child from abuse.
Mothers, believe your children when they say they've been abused and follow through with child abuse cases when they've been reported.
For more information on child abuse or to report suspected cases on child abuse, contact the Social Welfare Division on 33 Great Marlborough Street or call 266-3020 or 266-3080.
But the Ministry of Health and Environment has informed the public of an outbreak of acute respiratory infections or flu in Dominica occurring at this time. Symptoms include coughing, running nose, loss of appetite, high fever, breathing difficulties, and chest pains. Here are some of the things you can do to protect yourselves and others from getting the flu. Wash your hands with soap and water more now than usual. If soap and water are not available, use hand sanitizers. Cover your mouth with a tissue when coughing. Avoid touching your face if your hands are dirty because cold and flu viruses enter your body through the eyes, nose and mouth. If you are sick, stay away from crowds, young children and very elderly persons. Drink a lot of fluids, juice, water, coconut water and soups. In order to control the spread of this flu, everyone must take the necessary steps to protect his or herself, their families, and the public. Persons with the severe symptoms of the flu are asked to visit their health center or doctor. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. Live streaming is also available on our YouTube channel 24 hours a day. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Mervin. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.